Hi, welcome. Hope Zvara here with our 40 days on the mat. Today is day 23, and I'm just really provoked today to try to practice staying in my body and really understanding and welcoming in the breath. So we'll start in a seated position, and today you may need a beanbag or a blanket to sit on, a strap, and possibly 1 or 2 blocks. If it's not comfortable for you to sit on the floor, we want the knees to be as relaxed as possible, and the knees preferably either in line or lower than the hips. Otherwise, just sit to a cushion, but not to the point where your pelvis tips forward. So kind of seated meditation, it's easy to pour out all of your identity center, but also all of your core strength. So try to keep a neutral pelvis. This will also save your lower back in the long run. Place your legs however it is you choose to sit cross-legged, just so that the spine can be long and the diaphragm and belly can be exposed. Draw your hands to your knees. Let's touch pointer finger and thumb together. And on the inhalation, really try to pay attention to not just breathing into the belly, but breathing into the pelvic floor. So inhale. And then as you exhale, engaging on what some people call the bathroom muscles, but more specifically, I want you to think of engaging against your anal sphincter, which is by your tailbone. And then if you were to draw a piping system down the center of your body and come out the center of your pelvic floor, it would be the perineum. For women, it's the vaginal passageway. For men, it's behind the scrotum, that soft bulging tissue. And then finally, the urethra by the pubis bone. This controls our bladder. And when we contract those 3 points, we feel then a contraction on the lower belly. And as we feel that contraction on the lower belly, it's really an internal contraction, and really feeling that strength in the lower core. And so let's start the breath again. Inhale through the nose. Let everything be soft and expansive. And then exhale, contracting, even if it's just right now a mental contraction, depending on the connection between your brain and body. And then again, inhale, let it all go. And exhale, contract. Inhale, let it go. No restriction on the breath. Don't worry, no one's watching how skinny or how expansive your abdomen is. I really want you to try to soften that tension. And exhale. Now, if you're noticing that when you exhale, you have to squeeze the glutes, I want you to let those glutes back off. There is a lot of thought process behind the pelvic floor contracting before a glute contraction. Your glutes are really, really important muscles in your body, and there is a lot of ability to you working and sculpting and building those muscles. But if you find that you're using those and not the pelvic core, you're really creating an imbalanced body, and you'll probably lead yourself to injury in the long run. So I really want you to think about, again, this is a pelvic floor, pelvic core, pelvis plus core muscles. This is this type of a contraction. Okay, so inhale again, let everything go. Feel your breath and rib cage rise as you breathe into the pelvic floor. Exhale, contract, and feel this upward drawing of energy. Good, and then inhale again. Be patient. This takes some students weeks, even years to really feel confident in, depending on what your past history has been with your body. And then again, inhale. Even if you can just get one of those 3 points to contract, and you can actually mentally create a relationship there, awesome. And one more time, exhale. And then relax that out. Great. Come off of your cushion and come to a tabletop position. So on your hands and knees, cross your left leg over your right thigh and really get the thighs pressing together. So we have a really good amount of compression. Open your heels. Now press your top leg onto the bottom leg as you try to steer your hips towards the right. And now when you sit back, if the floor feels like it's really far away, get on something, a block or a cushion. And if necessary, you can also set a blanket between the knees. We want to try to keep the connection of the legs as nice and tight as possible without feeling any pinching through the kneecaps. If you notice pinching, externally rotate the top or the bottom leg just to relieve the knee. Pad the ankles if you notice any ankle strain, And if this for any reason is just really super sensitive for you, extend the bottom leg out. Now this may shift more into a hamstring stretch on the bottom leg, but we're still getting a hip stretch. So again, make sure that you're in a position that's comfortable yet challenging, but still effective. And so inhale, try to find as much length in the body as possible. Exhale, see if you can continue with just practicing that exhale and the contraction of the deep core. This also is correlating with our lower 3 chakras, so our energy to ground ourselves, but also to cultivate that identity center within us. And so inhale again. Try to breathe into the hips, breathe into the tightness of the glutes, and then exhale. As you sit in cow face, I'll turn sideways. And as you're in cow face, either just stay upright as is, especially if you're on a lot of props. Otherwise, take one hand, place it on the top knee, and opposite hand prop. Notice how I'm on my fingertips. We're going to try to tilt your hip bones away from your thigh muscles. It's almost like a pelvic tilt of you tilting into the floor. So really increasing the stretch through the groin and challenging the outer hip a little bit more. It's not a big movement, so nice big breath in. And exhale, engage on the pelvic core, resist the hand to the leg gently, a really big IT band stretch down the side of the leg on the bottom leg. Inhale through the nose. I'm trying to open the space between my thighs and my belly. Exhale. If it's more appropriate, feel free to place a block behind you and place your hand on the block. There's always alternatives. Even in yoga, it's so easy to get into an all or nothing mentality, where if I can't do a pose, it's like, well, I guess I can't do that. And again, what is the pose trying to teach me? What am I trying to gain from the pose, rather than just trying to do the pose itself? It's a lot like life. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Now exhale, bow forward, trying to keep your glutes rooted and the spine long. Hands can either come behind, keeping the shoulders open. Some people find it's really helpful to prop the forehead to a block and allow that pressure to the forehead. This may be too much, just simply coming forward. Maybe it's just the intention of leaning forward is enough for you. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. At any time that there's numbness, tingling, anything hot, shooting, or sharp, I want you to come out of the pose, release the legs, and if your body gives you permission, then feel free to begin again. As you choose to extend the arms, know that that extension is just an extension from your back muscles. Imagine your arm attached to your tailbone, and reach as you press your tail into the floor. Inflate your back body much like a balloon. Exhale. Nice. See if you can mentally free any tension. Many times we get into these quiet poses, these poses that require us to be there for a length of time, and the mind just starts stirring. And I think one thing that's important to remember is we often don't notice the busyness in the mind during the day because there's so much busy distraction around us. So the mind is always chattering, but we just don't notice it. So now slowly roll yourself back up. I'm just going to turn towards you so you can stay where you are. And instead of working with tricep stretch, we're actually going to work with eagle arms. So draw your arms to a cactus. Now since your left leg is on top, left arm is going to go on the bottom. And either glue the tops of the hands together, maybe hold a strap, possibly grab for the thumb of the top arm and spindle your arms as you elevate the elbows and drop the shoulders. Now watch not to tilt the belly forward. Inhale through the nose. Breathe into your upper back. Exhale through the nose. inhale, open your arms, really relax through the shoulders. Take your right fingertips, drop them to the floor, relax your shoulder and elbow, and actively press your left hip into the floor. I'm actually going to use my hand for traction rather than for locking. So again, we're never locked into that bottom shoulder whenever we do a side bend. Try to relax it down. Maybe the forearm comes to the floor. Bend your top elbow, forearm and palm face your head, and extend your arm as you press your left hip. Possibly grab for the bottom side of the head and really reach the elbow as you lower down. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Take your top arm now, reach to the right as you rotate your torso, lengthen your spine, shoulders back, and exhale, possibly consider bowing. So a little bit more length through the lower back, between the sacrum and the ribs. Think about keeping your sternum off your belly button. Slowly unwind, come up, rock back. If you're sitting on something, you can remove that. Rock back, uncross your legs, bottoms of the feet together, hands behind the sacrum. Inhale, sit tall, release your knees. And exhale, hands to the ankles. And slowly begin to bow forward. Now, if you're feeling a lot of tension on the knees, push your heels more forward. Open your feet as you bow with gratitude towards the floor. Breathe. Rise up, exhale. Try to use a little pelvic core on the way. Nice job. Bring the knees together back into tabletop position. Don't be surprised if one side feels very different than the other. Now drawing your right leg on top, compression is the most important initially. So try to create a really nice tight space. Press your top knee onto your bottom leg and your bottom leg up to your top knee. Open your heels and steer your hips to the left. That's towards the top leg. If you find it's helpful, grab your ankles and help steer, or even just bring your hands to the floor. And then adjust the heels if they'll let you. Just try to even them out on the floor. If once you sit back, it's like, I'm not moving, go with it. Any negative tension on the bottom knee, extend the leg, or if you're really struggling sitting back. Remember, we all have to start somewhere. It's not so much about what I should look like in the pose, but what I should be feeling. We're going for an outer hip and thigh stretch, a sacrum or lower back stretch, along with, possibly some hamstring work. Inhale through the nose and exhale. Now again, if you need something to sit on, we want to try to minimize the space between the knees and minimize the space between the knees and the floor. Inhale, sitting tall. Exhale. Finding time for stretching or increasing flexibility is incredibly important. As we age, if all we're doing is things to tone up and very little things to maintain our flexibility, we're going to see that as we age, that flexibility is what's actually going to hinder us in life, not so much the strength. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Honor your body and try to create a nice separation or distinction between what is pain and what is discomfort. So noticing new sensations in the body, many times the mind red flags right away because it's different or uncomfortable as pain, as something bad. And see if you can sit with that asana just a little bit longer and notice what you notice. Let's add that little space now. I'm going to bring one hand behind my back, one hand to my knee. Feel free to bring a palm onto a block if that makes more sense. I'm trying to tip my hip bones, which for many people, due to the tightness in the outer hip and groin, the pelvis is tipping forward. We're going to try to tip our pelvis back by keeping our legs pushing forward. It might not be a big movement. You might feel more than what you're actually moving. Inhale, A little pelvic core contraction. Tip your hip bones back, almost like you're pulling them into your belly as you keep your knees towards the floor. This may increase the stretch down the IT band, the outside of that lower leg. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Soften your jaw and mentally stay in the pose. Mentally commit to that space you're cultivating. If it's helpful, close the eyes and breathe. All right, exhale, release the legs. Now we're either gonna tip forward or you're just gonna stay upright and work where you're at. I'll turn sideways here. Remember, pad your ankles, release out anytime. As you come forward, try to keep that connection through the hips as you bow forward. Keep some length to the spine as you roll your sitting bones back into the floor. Feel free, blocks or even cushions off a couch or even a chair work really great to prop up on, or even support the forehead towards the block. Try to alleviate as much tension through the neck as you can as you press your hips back and lengthen your spine forward. Really noticing the distinct contraction between the thigh muscles as you exhale and fold. As we get into the stiffer fibers of the fibers in the body with less elastin, so tendons, ligaments, fascia, connective tissue, we're noticing that the longer we stay in the pose, the more beneficial those areas are going to become. So inhale through the nose and exhale. Inhale through the nose, keep the top leg tucked over tight. Exhale, bow down. If you choose to extend the arms, just create a little bit more length in the back muscles. Treat each side as its own. And see if you can just come down from the day or from the days past, whatever's been lurking in your mind, whatever junk you've been storing in your body. It's probably not very valid. And so see if you can make space from it. We often hold on to the things in life that we don't need, don't bring us anything. But yet we mull over them in our head and we store them in our body like they're a badge of honor. Separate from that. All right, now slowly start to come up. I'm going to turn back towards you again, so stay where you are. We'll add that side bend. So sitting tall, again, use props if you need to. Arms open. Relax your left shoulder as you side bend. Fold of the elbow turns towards the middle finger. I am using some bracing against the floor, but I'm not locking the shoulder. Feel free, you can also be on a block. Bend your top elbow, forearm and palm face your head. So when you extend the arm, the shoulder isn't getting all jammed up. It's able to relax down where it belongs. Bend the top elbow, either hold the side of the head and reach through the elbow, or keep that arm extending. Inhale through the nose, press your top leg onto your bottom leg. Exhale through the nose. Slight turn in the torso, open or close, may change how you feel in that stretch through the side body. Now most importantly, breathe. Can you actually feel your breath run alongside the body? Keep the lower deep belly active rather than falling forward. Breathe. Now exhale, keep reaching towards the left as you turn your torso. Drop through the torso, but try to keep the sternum off the belly button. Press the top leg into the bottom leg and move your right hip into the floor. Inhale through the nose. You may be open here and just reaching the arm. Feel free to come onto a block. Work from where your body is at, and sometimes the biggest part of practice is just learning to be okay with that. Inhale through the nose. By forcing or allowing, exhale through the nose. Something that we can definitely apply to our lives as well. And now rise back up. Let's add those eagle arms. Inhale, arms come to cactus. Now since my right leg is on top, my right arm is going to scoop under. Either glue the tops of the hands together, grab a strap, or keep spindling the arms, feel the spread of the upper back. Inhale, elbows lift off the chest, pull your thumbs away from your forehead. Keep spinning the arms, but relax the tops of the shoulders. Keep the lower core contracting away from the uppermost part of the thigh. Now breathe. If necessary, close your eyes so you can really come into the space of your body. Inhale, open and free the arms. Just relax the shoulders down. Rock back or forward to release the legs. And bring the bottoms of the feet together again, sitting nice and tall. Round ankle's a nice reset point. And then release the legs. Bring the knees together and turn yourself to the length of the mat. Hands under the thighs, roll yourself back, bring your knees into your chest. Relax through the shoulders, rock side to side. Then outstretch one leg at a time. Feel the openness now of your hips and the fluidity of blood flow and energy and circulation moving down your legs. Outstretch your arms and inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Focus on your breath. Inhale, trailing up through the soles of the feet. Through your legs, your pelvis, your torso, all the way to the crown of the head and the palms. Now exhale, move your breath back down your arms, your neck, your heart, your torso, pelvis, legs, and all the way out the soles of the feet. Let's do that 3 more times. Feel the expansiveness. Exhale, totally flush your body, full body breathing. Soften. Last time. Start to move the legs again as the knees come into the chest. Give yourself a gentle hug and feel the pressure of the thighs over the belly. Roll yourself to your side as you come up to a seated position. Every single time we come to our mat, it's an opportunity for us to grow deeply. It's an opportunity for us to see things as they actually are. And as we see things as they actually are from there, from that place, then we can start to move forward. So today, recognize the openness of your hips and feel free to work with this 2 or 3 times or add this to another video to your liking. But every little bit is yoga. Now the real work begins when you leave the mat and you go out into your everyday lives. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your effort. And until I see you again, which I hope is soon, namaste.